It is 2026, but I can't get started with the new year without reflecting back on everything that was optometry in 2025. And let's get this year off to the best possible start. We've got a stacked podcast with all of your favorite guests back at it again for this year's 2026 podcast party.
This is a Defocus Media production. What's up, everyone? It's your favorite optometrist, Dr. Darryl Glover.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Lyerly, resident optometry nerd.
And welcome to Defocus Media, optometry's #1 podcast, where we discuss the hottest topics, latest technology, eyewear, practice management, and more. So sit back, relax, and defocus.
Welcome to our 2026 edition. How many years have we been doing this, Darryl? I've lost track now.
I don't even know. I don't know if that means we're getting old as hell or if we're just having so much fun. Maybe it's a combination of both. Go figure, right?
It's both. And there's only one perennial event in Defocus Media history, and it is this podcast. And we always have Dr. Jackie Garlich with us, which is such a pleasure to have you back on the show. Probably your 10th time doing this podcast, Jackie. Thank you so much.
Of course. I love being here with you guys.
And then a couple of years ago, we added the one, the only, Dr. Mark Schaefer as a perennial guest as well. So now we have a perfect square to podcast with, because 4 minds are always better than just 3. So thank you for joining us again, Mark.
It's okay to be a placeholder. Like, I'll just sit here in the box and take the block, for Hollywood Square.
There you go. You're the comedic relief square. And so high pressure from you. If people don't laugh on this podcast, it will be your fault.
I like setting the bar real low, right? Jackie will tell you, I set the bar so low we can trip over. That is our goal for all of this. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I think we should kick off the year first just by giving a little update about everybody. I have nothing new to share. I'm seeing patients. I'm in Raleigh, and I'm enjoying optometry. Darryl, what's up with you?
Same old. The kids are getting older. My son is now 8. My daughter's 4, and I'm just loving on them as much as I can and traveling as much as I can and just living my rock star life. Being an optometrist is a lot of fun, a lot of work, but I enjoy every second of it. And I'm definitely enjoy this podcast with you 3 every year as well.
Dr. Garlich, any life updates that you want to share?
I just started my 6th year as a business owner. So that is
my gosh.
Oh, let's go. Good job.
Incredible.
I was like, I feel like I just bought this business like 2 years ago, max. Like, I feel like I only know the knowledge of 2 years of business ownership. But anyway, it's been 6. And that's like the, starts every year. It's another year of ownership. It's been great. Yeah. So all good on our front. Just seeing what else I can be adding to the practice and, kind of better serve my dry eye patients. And so, yeah.
And we're going to be getting into that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Schaefer, any big news for you?
Don't you need to add a hobby or something, Jackie? Don't you have all this free time?
That's the thing. I don't. Well, okay. So my hobby is I am trying to be a skier. Okay. Like, I'm doing my best, and I've fallen a whole lot less this year, this far. So like, I'm working on it. Being an adult skier is a humbling experience. I'll just tell you.
Sounds painful.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackie, you know what you need to make that experience better when it comes to skiing?
Let me guess. Some sort of smart glasses situation.
Oakley Meta. You got it. Vanguard.
We're 4 minutes into the podcast, and the smart glasses have been mentioned now. So.
Ahead of time. It has to give you the fastest line and the easiest turn line. It's just going to tell you, turn here, turn here, turn here.
Yeah. That is we should time this every year to see how quick it is before Darryl brings out the smart.
This is a new record, I think.
Yeah. This is the fastest one, I think. Yeah.
Oh my. Mark, what you got cooking up, man? What's going on in your life, my friend?
3 girls, so 7 for 16 months. And then we got a dog this year because we needed something else fun in our lives. So our puppy was born on Cinco de Mayo. So we have a 8-9 month old puppy. that's in dire need of more training. So it is chaos and craziness over in our house all the time. With optometry, again, just continuing to grow, travel, lecture, see what else we can be offering, and just kind of using what we've seen in 2025 to deliver a better 2026 and keeping our eyes and ears open to what's coming out in the future and just preparing ourselves for another deluge of approvals and products and ways to think about what we have in order for us to deliver that care.
Let's dive in. I had on the podcast outline, the first thing to talk about was like your pick for biggest story of 2025. So what's the story in 2025 that's going to change 2026 optometry? And Jackie, floor is yours. I'm going to let you kick it off.
Okay, well, I have two things, okay, because one, I don't actually.
How can you have two things?
Well, because the one thing is not the biggest story of 2025, but I am going to tell you something that's made my life a whole lot easier and my patients also. And this is the BlinkJoy USB heated eye mask. Do you guys know this mask?
I have not heard about this mask, and I love how you're leading off with something that I've never heard of. So tell us more. So I discovered this mask where, how many of your patients do a warm compress when you ask them to do? Like, I actually did this research. It's 16%. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no faith.
So for the patients that you want, the problem is friction in the system, right? Like, oh God, I gotta like microwave this thing. Like I just can't be doing it. So then I'm like, I need a really good USB powered eye mask that can deliver good heat. And I tried probably 5 different USB powered ones. And then I stumbled upon this BlinkJoy one that delivers good heat. It's a comfortable mask. It has 3 different levels of heat, and it charges via like a little charger. So I leave it like on my nightstand, and then I just use it every night. So I love this mask. It's very soothing. I fall asleep with it on. It's on a timer. I end up waking up and I'm like, oh, that mask is on. So anyway, it is, I think, makes me do a warm compress, and I think it makes my patients a little more compliant too. So that is not the biggest story of 2025, but something that I really love and feel like my life is a lot easier and my patients are more compliant. So I like the mask for that reason. You guys,
can we talk about this a little bit? How are the margins on this? Is it a good thing to have in practice, or is it better?
So the masks, I brought them in, and I hardly sell anything like retail like that in my office. Like I don't really do omega supplements. I just like can't keep track of these things, but this doesn't expire. So I bring this in, along with like a brooder mask. And then I also have the BlinkJoy hydration sleep mask too, which I've liked more as well. I didn't really talk about that one, but there's another good thing in that like product line, but it's kind of a more expensive mask. So the mask I think is like maybe $150. Like it's not a cheap mask. Okay.
Yeah.
But like my brooder's like $25 for a brooder. Right. People, it sits right there. Like no one ever does that. And this, it's a pricier mask, but you kind of get what you pay for. Like it actually delivers good heat to the lid. So I do bring these in. And I want to say, I can't remember what I actually buy, what I spend on it, but it's like a decent margin. I mean, I brought it in for that reason. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the compliance, if you're getting more compliance with something, and I guess the more you pay for something, you're definitely going to use it, right? So I can see where the compliance can go up more if you're paying that premium for that product. So that's
that, and just like making it easier, right? You just have to make stuff easier for the patient. So it's literally, I'm in my bed. There's zero chance I'm getting up to go microwave something if I'm made it to my bed, but I will reach over here and just like grab this little mask and put that on. Like it's lovely.
I love it.
You probably could buy a microwave to leave in your bedroom that's cheaper than $150. I'm just throwing that out there. And now you can have popcorn in bed. Think of all the opportunities that you have.
Sidetrack our conversation, but I found out earlier this year that microwaves are completely out of style and people don't have microwaves. So I did a kitchen remodel, and like nobody in any design put a microwave anywhere. And I was like, where is the microwave going? I must have one. And they're like, you don't use a microwave. Nobody uses a microwave. I was like, yes, I use a microwave every single day. But everyone looked like I had 5 adults. So, People don't have them, apparently.
How are you popping popcorn? Like, I don't even understand.
How are you keeping your coffee warm? I don't know.
How do you keep any of that? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my question is, the younger generation, how are they going to live without a microwave? I mean, their Uber Eats, their DoorDash, they're going to have to warm up their leftovers, right?
They don't have leftovers, Darryl. That is for old people.
Oh, okay.
There is no 99
Well, thanks for calling me old, Jen.
Anything.
Yes. Okay, so back to optometry, though. Jackie, what is your actual biggest story?
Okay. Sorry, I derailed us on purpose. But my actual big story is I really like Tryptr. That was approved and launched in last year. I have found a lot of success with Tryptr. I'm really enjoying that for patients. I like that we're talking about a different mechanism to try to target dry eye patients. And I really enjoy, and the side effect of that stinging that was so high and 50% of patients reported, I think that worried a lot of us, but I actually feel like patients are not bothered by that at all. Like, it's rare that I have someone discontinue for that reason. The sting feels different. The burn sort of feels different than your immunomodulators. So I thought that was anything dry in the dry eye category. I'm going to be like, that's the biggest story.
I love it. I know we're going to jump more into this down the road. So I guess we'll go to the next. Who's next up, Jen?
Mark, why don't you share your story?
Yay. I was going to use Tryptr, actually. And I didn't put anything. And
your votes for Tryptr.
Correct. I'm going to casually disagree with Jackie. The burning and stinging is very significant. Like, I use every drop that's out there on the market. We've had this conversation. I'm going to finish this. When I put the drop in, I literally gripped the bathroom counter so hard that my wife thought something was wrong. She was like, what did you do? And I was like, I put in a drop. I could hear sounds in my punctal the first time I did. Like, I could hear sounds through.
Get out, Mark. No way.
Now, knowing that and experiencing it like as bad as I thought it was going to be, I still used it and broke through after the second or third dose, but it made me better in explaining it to the patient. And I think that's the important takeaway from Tryptr is, and every medication is, put in a drop yourself. Like, no matter what it is, what you're prescribing, I think it's important for us to experience what the patient is going to experience. We can make better recommendations and better education, so that first time they have it, if it burns like it did in my eyes, if I didn't know it was going to be better, I probably would have discontinued it and used it once and been one of those N of one patients where I used it once, it didn't work. So it moves me into, yes, it works, and it feels really good after that. But the initial feeling of it, like, it was enough for me to remember it. Like, every other drop that I've put in, it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's a drop, kind of burns, it kind of stings. So it's like, oh, this is different. So I need to explain it different. And it's made me better explaining it. And it's probably why we've had really good success, is that we can explain it better. So that would have been fine had I gone first. But my biggest story is actually not about a product, but more about engagement. And I think Vision Expo moving to one meeting is the biggest story for me of 2025 in how it's going to change the future of eye care as a whole, because it's making us rethink meeting structures, right? I think meetings are a great way for us to come together, to exchange ideas, to continuing education, to meet and understand what's going on with vendors, seeing and talking to industry sponsors. They're like, we have a lot of meetings, and it's like, how do we pick and choose? How do we engage with optometrists and our industry partners to give us the best way for us to move forward? And I think this is going to start that conversation of, okay, we can't go to everything all the time. How do we help best leverage our education system through COPE and CE so that our doctors and everybody who's attending get something out of it to keep coming back? And I think we saw that with COVID, is CE went all virtual, and now we're seeing the course correction within states of, okay, we're going to have to do a lot more in person. So how to engage all of our optometry colleagues to better our understanding of what's out there, and how do we help deliver that moving forward? So I think it's a linchpin for kind of everything moving forward, of creating engaging meetings to help everybody and not just one subset of people. I'm going to miss going to Vegas in September a lot because I love going to Vegas just once a year. Really looking forward to being in Orlando in March. But again, it's just something different. It's going to change the fall landscape of we do meetings as a whole. So I think that's my biggest takeaway from 2025 was seeing, okay, things are going to change in the future, and things that we thought were like just absolute, we're not moving any of these things are changing. So just kind of the evolution of eye care and how we deliver that education is going to change. So how do we move that moving forward?
I like that pick, and it took me by surprise when you said that, but there was actually a review of optometry article around this topic. I can't remember if it was in the December issue or in the January issue recently, and they were talking about how, every year they publish their CE planner. And when they first started, there were like 200 meetings for optometry. And this year when they published it, there were 347 meetings. There were 51 meetings in the month of March alone. And like, we're at a point of where there's no way to keep the system afloat. Mm-hmm. Like, there's got to be consolidation. There's too many choices, too many meetings to attend. And how do you make these meetings actually effective for doctors where you feel like you're getting the education and the value for it? And so I think a lot of people are picking up what you're noticing, Mark. We're like, there's a breaking point that we're probably approaching here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like diversifying the education as well, of like, how do we, the typical sit down, learn for 50 minutes, we know that model is kind of broken, right? We know that we don't learn like that, we don't retain information like that. So how do we change our paradigm so that the CE that we're administering is effective? Right? And I think our industry partners have really leveraged the presentation of how do we help move behaviors, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do with our continuing education, is help educate our peers to change behavior so that we can talk about things like myopia control and dry eye disease and glaucoma and macular degeneration, so we can identify trends and treat patients better than we've ever been able to. But somehow risks for dry eye disease and our procedures and patients wearing myopia control, those numbers aren't reaching a critical mass, even though we have 347 meetings and probably 15 each on myopia control and dry eye and tracks at every single meeting. So how, in effect, as a whole, change the way that we're moving? And I think the meeting has to change because education has to change, and we're moving in different models and we're learning different ways.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make education sexy. We got to be able to understand it. There's so much new technology that's coming out. The laws are always changing. And if we don't keep up with it, it can lead to not so great things in clinic and patient care. And we do have to meet the new generation of ODs where they're at in regards to how they consume information. And, I take that same mindset and apply that to patient care, right? We got to make sure that we're communicating with our patients the same way they like to be communicated with in order to get them to be compliant when prescribing therapeutics and different solutions to give them what they need to be successful. So I love that. I am happy that that show's going down to 1. I've been saying that for the last 10 years. I am nervous about the show leaving Vegas. I used to love New York, but I started to like Vegas more. The reason why I like Vegas more is because all the extra activities you do outside of the conference hall is in that same hotel. New York, I wasn't a big fan because you got to get in an Uber and go to another meeting somewhere else and bounce back and forth. Mm-hmm. In Orlando, the halls are kind of long to go to the other hotels. It's not too bad, but I just hope the facilities or the convention centers they choose in the future, they'll keep that in mind, that there's a lot of off-site meetings. So what can you do to make it easy where people can actually walk and not have to get in a car to go somewhere else as well?
Yeah. Darryl, what's your pick for biggest 2025 story to impact 2026?
Hey, my biggest story is Nuance Audio.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to keep it real.
It's like drum roll. Come on.
Hey, right? But no, seriously, it changed my practice quite a bit. You'll be amazed how many people that walk through your doors that actually have mild to moderate hearing loss. It's not just your seasoned folks, it's all ages. You look at people that are construction workers. You look at people that are DJs. You look at people that have diabetes. I think I saw a stat about 50% of patients that have diabetes have mild to moderate hearing loss. There are tons of folks that walk through your doors that are experiencing this. And the key thing is having a conversation, asking patients, digging, understanding their lifestyle. And that really opens up the door to have a conversation. What I found has been extremely successful in my practice is just getting the patients to actually do the demo. When they demo and they try it out and they see the change, the smile that those patients have on their faces, when they come back for something else like dry eye and you ask them how things have been working out, it'll touch your heart and it'll change your world. It'll make you be more in tune to those patients that are walking through the doors. So that's what's really changed my practice. I have patients that come in of all different backgrounds that have purchased these glasses. I've even had some patients that have severe hearing loss that have tried them out and they're like, hey, I actually really like these. It may not give me exactly what I need, but it's better than me not having something. So it's just good to let those patients demo it out. And as the doctor, you have to have the buy-in. And then you also got to make sure that your eyewear consultants are fully aware of what's going on. Over the last year, they have expanded their colors. I think there's now a blue that's out there. And I know it's only going to get better as time goes by. But for me, the Nuance Audio glasses has really elevated my patient care. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do for 2026. Because I know every year they're going to take it to the next level.
We haven't sold that many, but I will say it's one product that people come back raving about. Like the people that have gotten it have really liked it and can't stop talking about it. So I love that. I love a product that delivers and seems to impress people above and beyond what they were expecting. And so now it's just a matter of like getting the word out so more people are willing to try it. So
yeah,
I think that the price point of that is actually really reasonable too.
It's fantastic.
I had to help my dad get hearing aids. And I was like, what? How much are hearing aids? Hearing aids are really expensive. So like this price point, I think is totally reasonable for what you're getting.
It's like $1,000 and then your hearing aids are close to $4,000 to $5,000. Mm-hmm. So when you look at some of the things that a lot of patients have issues with when it comes to hearing solutions, number one is the look, the stigma. Number two is the comfort. And then number three is the price. And EssilorLuxottica has put together a product that really tackles all three of those things. And they've given you the office stands or whatever you want to call it to be able to really show the patients and create that experience for them to be able to experience it firsthand in the office before they make that purchase. So again, for me, it's been a game changer. Yes, this year I'm talking, again, some kind of smart glasses or wearable. It's not Ray-Ban Meta this time, but the Nuance Audio has really changed the way that I see these patients and how I help these patients when they come in.
Well, Darryl, I'm going to be probably as expected then too. I think we all knew you would probably pick something in a smart glasses realm, and everyone probably would have guessed like I would pick something around myopia.
Oh, no doubt.
Come on, like we have FDA-approved myopia management glasses. That is could not be a bigger deal. I thought that my sight was like probably the biggest thing that had happened during my career. And I think maybe because it was like the first approval, maybe it still will hold that bar. But like the fact that now I have an option for people who are like, my kid's not ready for contact lenses. But like, I just think it's amazing. Anything that was holding doctors back before about like, I just don't want to put kids in contact lenses. Hey, I get that. I can respect that. Now there's really no excuse. This means technology is available for every single kid. And I, honest to God, like I never want to see another little kid that's a -10. Like we don't have to do, like let's just all commit to like, that's not going to happen. Yeah. So, and I'm really excited with how quickly it seems to be taking off in our area, at least. Everybody has access to it at exactly the same time. Parents are hearing about these lenses everywhere they go. And I've seen a huge adoption within just the first couple of months. So that's super exciting.
Jen, are you layering this with like your atropine therapies as well? Like, are you combining therapies or what are you doing?
In my mind, for a super fast progressor, that's something I would be open-minded to. But I see no need to initiate someone on both. Now obviously we didn't have glasses. So I have a ton of these kids that were on atropine because they didn't want to do contact lenses. And I'm actually talking to them about like, why don't we taper off your atropine and get glasses instead? the glasses are cheaper. It will save them money to switch out of atropine and go into glasses. Not to mention, you don't have to put a chemical in your eye anymore and deal with the side effects. So I am, talking to parents
and it's FDA approved as well.
Transitioning over.
You got to keep in mind it's also FDA approved, so you got to add that piece in over atropine, right?
Yeah, good point.
And speaking of atropine, this I'm going to piggyback on as the second biggest story, which, I was going into the fall, we got glasses. It seemed like it was just a formality. Atropine was going to come right next, and then it didn't, right? And it took a lot of us in the community by surprise. And then we saw the data, and I could understand the FDA's request for more information. We did a whole nother podcast on that y'all are welcome to listen to. But when you look at the data of atropine for myopia control versus a MiSight or an Stellest, they're not equally effective, right? And so that's where I think even if we had FDA-approved atropine, or when we have FDA-approved atropine, I think there'll be a day where that probably does happen. It's not going to give you the same level of myopia management effect. It's probably going to be more adjunctive for you. And so that's kind of where my mindset is heading into 2026.
Hey, Jen, I have a question for you. I mean, they asked, adding atropine to these glasses. And again, you guys are the myopia control guru, so this question may be dumb as I don't know what. But what about MiSight contact lenses and then Plano Stellest lenses on top of that? Is that something that's too much, or is that something that may slow it down even more and be more cost effective outside of the atropine?
I haven't seen any study on that, but so MiSight, if you look at like the display of it, Darryl, right? MiSight and Stellest work in the same way. They're both peripheral defocus. They both have rings of peripheral defocus. I don't know how additive that would be. The only thing for myopia management that doesn't work the same way, because MiSight, Ortho-K, and Stellest, they all have the rings, right? Atropine, we don't know why atropine works. It works on a different model, and doctors don't know what that model is. So that's why it may be additive.
Gotcha. Cool.
I love how into myopia you are, Jen.
Sorry. Sidetrack. And now we're back on track. So if anyone tuned out during my last little myopia spell, I'm back to regular optometry now.
It should be regular optometry. Like this is like prescribing glasses and prescribing Stellest. The lift is not as big as like, all right, let's talk about let's talk about MiSight, let's talk about compounded atropine. I've got lenses that slow this down. Here you go. Right? Like it's the data is the data. We're slowing down the progression of nearsightedness. Like we've talked about how standard of care is to slow it down, right? And trying to get to that point. Now that we have a lens option that is a glasses lens option that can be on anybody from 6 months all the way to 14, 15, 16, like there's no reason for us to, this shouldn't be part of our normal standard spiel with myopia. Every single myope needs to hear this, right? Every sort of emerging myope needs to hear this because again, what we do today matters for the lifetime of a patient. So if I can keep someone from being a -5, that's the crux, right? And we know that for every doctor of myopia that we save off of them, we increase or decrease their risk by like 20% of all the things that can happen later on in life. And like one diopter matters. It matters. It needs to. And like if you think 2 millimeters of mercury matter when we're checking pressure, we think about rim thickness. If that matters to you, one diopter should matter. Like, period. End of story. Like we shouldn't be over like smooth this out being like, well, I guess I can just talk about glasses now, but this is hard. Talking about glasses is hard.
Well, I hopefully everyone feels the same way. And as you enter 2026, like this is the year that you're doing it. We're all doing it this year. Okay. We're going to enter a segment that's very poorly named, but I'm just doubling down on it. This is the name of it. Sorry, guys. I know it's dumb. Flip or flop. And so let's talk about the new tech or medications that entered the market that made us flip for joy because they exceeded expectations or were a flop. And I think, we've hit on this a little bit already. Ray-Ban Nuance, any opinions? I know Darryl's like, yes, that was good. I've enjoyed it. Any other opinions, or we're all on board with Ray-Ban Nuance?
I'm on board. I don't have this in my office, but I support your love for this frame, so I'm on board with it as well. Yeah.
She may add it to
we got to talk about
Just
Oakley
like
Meta.
everything
Oakley
else.
Meta is out now, so that's like the other big thing, right? And they have the Vanguard, and I believe it's called the Houston. And the difference between those two is the Vanguard actually has the camera in the middle, which gives you a different perspective whenever you're doing different activities and things like that. But with the Oakley Meta, you can also connect that to your Strava, your Garmin, and things like that. So for your athletes, this is something that can really elevate what they're doing. They can record, their activities. I mean, it's game changing for athletes. We know how serious athletes take things, and anything that's going to give them a competitive edge or be able to track what they do, they're going to want to take it to the next level. So. You got your everyday hustle with Ray-Ban Meta, then you got your Oakley Meta when it's more sports, and then you got your Nuance audio when it comes to those patients that need to hear better. It's only going to get better as time goes by, and patients are coming in and they're seeking these things. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm out, I'm always looking at people's glasses. And over the last year, I have seen tons of smart glasses, Ray-Ban Meta in particular, on patients and people out there as well. So you'll be amazed how many people are adopting to this and what they're going to do.
I'm about to tell you a story that might hurt. We practice in a very close environment, but this is a private practice optometry victory story. So right before the holidays, we had someone from a tech company come in and said, I want to buy 40 Ray-Ban Meta to give to all my, the people that work at my company when I need them in like 2 weeks. So how much does it cost? But like, this is their Christmas present. And we were able to fill that order, and it was fantastic. And we've never had anyone buy 40 of anything for a Christmas party before. So Ray-Ban Meta, thank you.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
Jackie just funded her ski obsession for the next 3 months. Like that's lift tickets.
That's such a nice
some new ski gear.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That could happen to you in Boston, I'm sure.
Story.
It could.
The one story I have that surprised me was a bowling alley owner, and he was like, it's so loud in my environment, and when I'm in the pro shop like selling things, it gets so distracting. He's like, now that I have glasses that actually tune it out, it has been such a moment of clarity between me and what I can do. And that was like really cool. And he just did not look like somebody that was going to spend any money on glasses, like those stories. And he was like, listen, I need to hear. It's super loud and annoying. And he loves them. So you never know. And like we have posters in our exam lanes, and patients will be like, tell me more about this. And I'm like, this is fantastic. It's not a hearing aid, but it makes you hear the environment better. And that's all they need to hear.
It amplifies.
I think that's the key point. Right. It's like, again, just like everything else that we do, it's about setting our expectations so that the patient doesn't think this is a substitute for my $5,000 custom-made audiologist-approved hearing aid. But if I can augment the area around me, I'm going to do that.
What next? Y'all were talking about it earlier as a big story for you, Tryptr. So how has Tryptr been faring in your practice? Are you embracing it for your dry eye care? It sounds like a yes from our two dry eye gurus. What about you, Darryl?
Yeah, I mean, I've prescribed it for quite a few patients, and you two gurus that have prescribed it quite a bit hold me honest on this. I believe the first one that you prescribe is for free, and I think it's going to be that way for quite a bit of time. So, free is, music to the ears of the patients that walk through the door. But also I've heard nothing but success stories from my patients. To Mark's point earlier, it burns like hell, but I always tell all my patients for any drops that I give them, it's going to burn, you may taste it, and it's going to blur your vision. I feel like if you say those three things, you're covered on all ends with any drop. So naturally, I've already been doing that. So I haven't had too much pushback, but yeah, it's been successful so far, and I'm excited to see what it looks like for 2026.
really the only thing holding me back, and I have written some prescriptions. I have so many good drops right now. It is overwhelming. Like when I have someone using nothing, like, oh my gosh, I have so many great things we can start with. I'm still very happy with my results with Myobo. Thanks to you, Jackie. I'm a huge Vivi prescriber now. Because you were raving about it on one of our podcasts a year or two ago.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've been rocking Vivi like crazy. Matter of fact, Jackie, funny story. I was at a conference and a lady came up to me and she said, I just want to thank you. I said, okay, what for? And she was like, you guys mentioned Vivi on the podcast and we got so much positive feedback from that. And I was like, that was Jackie. I didn't have anything to do with it. But that actually turned me on to prescribing that as well. And I think the max out of pocket for that might be like $59 or $79, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, again, that's
even Medicare,
resource, right? Yeah. So these companies, to your point, Jen, there's so many options out there. And I might have said this last year, but I tell all the reps when they come in, what I'm experiencing is fatigue. There's so many different drugs out there. I forget about things because you guys keep hitting us in the head with all these great products. So it's a lot to choose from. And sometimes I do forget what's in my back pocket because there's something else that's working and it's easier to get to the patients.
I think it really helps when you're seeing the patient. Now that you have so many like buckets of different types of medications, is to figure out what is actually wrong with this patient. Is it that we have, like, do I need them to stimulate their own tears? Do I see a low lacrimal lake? Oh, okay. Then I reach more for the Tryptr. Do I see this really terrible evaporative issue? Okay. Then I reach for more Vivi. Do I see a ton of staining on the cornea? Okay. Then I reach more for immunomodulator. It just is like taking us like looking for lid wiper epithelia, look for all of the things and find out what's actually the problem. And then that kind of helps, I think, guide some of it because there's a lot of noise, there is a lot of options and like, which one am I doing for what? And then I think coming up with your own algorithm kind of helps you be like, I'm pulling here and then I'm pulling there,
Well, and on top of that, we've got all these great prescription products. And then we also have in-office treatments, right? And so IPL I feel like almost everyone doing dry eye is doing IPL now, right? There's an IPL down the street from every optometrist at this point. And then OptiLift came out earlier this year. That is something that we added at our practice. So you get the heat to help melt meibum as well as some tightening for better eyelid closure. Do you find that there's certain devices or in-office treatments that are doing very well for you and your patients? Jackie, I'll let you go first because I know it's a big part of your practice.
So I do have a lot. So I've got, now 3 different types of thermal treatment. So I have the Tear Care, I have LipiFlow, and then I just brought in Tixel, the newest one that was approved last year. So I, reach for those when I need some better expression or good meibomian gland, to kind of melt some of that thicker oil. And then I also have IPL too. So I reach for that more. I was just explaining this to my tech. She's like, what are you picking and how are you choosing what you pick? And IPL we reach for when there's a lot more, inflammation, but these things are all expensive. There's also these like other lovely things that really can help move, like Rinsata, for example. I use that on patients where there's a lot of allergic kind of component. And I think, or just you see a lot of debris in their tear film. I'm going to Rinsata those patients. And then even your lid cleaning in the office. Like I have a new lids that I'll just kind of do in the office for a patient if I see a lot of lid debris. So honestly, I reach for obviously IPL a ton. And then, LipiFlow, I do a lot of those also. So those are like my bread and butter. And then I'm just kind of seeing how, my newer ad Tixel is going to fit in with all of that, but they're great. They help move the needle when other things are not, like at-home therapies are not.
Wow, sounds like you got a lot of toys.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
And she has so much space because it's downtown Boston. So like you can get space at a premium. Like you just need to add like 1,600 to 2,000 square feet. Like it's nothing. And it costs nothing to add in.
This is all in 1,500 square feet. So I'm creative with the space. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to talk about space. Let me tell you something. As y'all know, I work for my eye doctor. Dr. Schaefer does as well. I talk a lot of junk about my office. My office is about 7,000 square feet. We got a lot of cool toys in there. As you know, I travel a lot for the business. one trip I had to go to Hoover, Alabama. And people kept telling me about this one doctor by the name of Mark Schaefer, how big his office was and how amazing it looked. When I walked into his office, it'll probably take 10 of my locations to fill his location. His office is massive. Seriously, it is the most beautiful office I've ever seen in my life, from the eyewear to the equipment to the amazing doctors that they have on staff. I mean, Mark, am I lying? I mean, please share it. Just brag a little bit about your office, man, please.
Yeah, so our office was a room store furniture shop before we converted it to an optometry clinic. So it is 16,000 square feet of office space.
Yes.
Our clinical space, so just exam rooms, clinical testing, contact lenses, visual field treatment room, that takes up 6,000 square feet. We've got about 4,000 square feet of patient services, so reception, check-in, check-out, printing, supplies, et cetera, is about 4,000. And then we've got 8,000 square feet of optical. So we have custom-made units that are designed little suites so that every brand has their own area. So you can take a frame tour and go through different brands in order to get there. So we have a massive space. I still don't have enough for some reason. Like, there's still not enough space in our office. Like, Jackie's probably shooting me 30 eyes. My screen's a little frozen because I'm in Alabama. So, but I think one thing that Jackie, because she has all the toys and I'm getting some of the toys, two things that she did not mention that we have in our office that I've had a lot of. One is low-level light therapy. It's a red or a blue mask designed to stimulate through heat, but it's endogenous heat to melt the oil glands, kind of get everything moving. So if your patient wants something in the eye or applying something, it's a mask that goes on. It also does all over the face. So it's really comfortable for the patient. It feels like today it was like 20-something degrees in Birmingham. It feels like you're at the beach without going anywhere. So it feels really nice. And then we massage the oil glands and get everything rolling. We do about 3 sessions like IPL, but it's like normally about half the price. So if patients balk at the price of IPL, this is a good option for us because it gives us some of that movement of the oil glands as well. The other thing that I'm not up here is Lacrifill. It's a cross-linked hyaluronic acid gel that goes to the canalicular area. It's injected with a syringe. It's fantastic. I've had really good results with it because it fills the whole duct without a plug. So there's no like trying to find the plug or like pulling it out. Like, it just fills. And then as time goes on, the hyaluronic acid shoots onto the surface. So it kind of has a secondary benefit, not only blocking those tears, but also keeping them on the eye and then giving us something positive with that. Now, that comes with a caveat that we have to clean up the surface before I plug. So it's not usually a first-line therapy. They're doing something else in order to help manage that surface to make it better, whether that's a Tryptr, whether that's a Myopia, whether that's a Vizz or Xydra or anything out there. But Lacrifill has been really useful for us. It's really easy to use.
And that Lacrifill, the cool thing about that is you can bill out, all 4 punctals because when you put it in, it shoots through the top, and that's how you know it's been filled. So that's a game changer as well, being able to bill out all 4 punctals as well.
So do you bill that like punctal plugs?
Correct.
Differently? Okay, cool.
It's billed like
This is
punctal
something I
plugs,
haven't
but
done yet.
we've had, again, you can use your insurance. So again, if price-conscious patients that don't want to pay for something, but you want something that's a little bit different than just putting in a plug. Again, there's no sizing, so you don't have to think like, oh, this one's a 0.2, but this one's a 0.4. And if I put in different size plugs, can't tell you how many I've lost. Trying to remove them. There's none of that because it's in the syringe. So as long as you can get into the puncta and press, you can fill it, which is nice.
All right, I'll report back in 2027. This sounds like something I want to consider adding.
I had one patient where Oh God. I was just going to say, I had one patient where I lost 3 collagen plugs on one. I could not get, I didn't have the right forceps. So I was trying to use like a jeweler's and I'm like, what on earth?
They just snap like you
snap. I was like,
oh my gosh,
what is happening?
And see, that's the unknown cost. Like, because if you're really, really good, don't lose one. Like, yeah, the cost is going to look a little bit different because it's a cross-linked gel rather than a piece of silicone or collagen that dissolves. But if you lose it, now we're adding on costs that are, sunk basically, that you can't get back. You can't put a plug that fell on the ground in someone else's eye.
Yeah. And the team over there is fantastic. There's a gentleman by the name of Justin that I do a lot of work with, and anything we ever need, reach out to him. He makes the magic happen. But I've done a few of those. I probably could do more. But again, it's that fatigue, right? There's so many different things out there. You just get like, oh my gosh, what can I do? But I'm going to have to lean in more on Jackie's approach and just create my own formula of, the various scenarios to see what works the best for each one of those. So I appreciate that input, Jackie.
We need to get like optometry wristbands like quarterbacks wear so you can like flip up your sheet and be like, here's my drop. Here's my contact lens parameter guide so I don't look like an idiot trying to pull a +8 in something. And I'm like, oh, wait, that doesn't exist in the brand. Oh, there we go. I'm good.
Just great idea, Mark. At the next conference, I should see someone selling those. So my last one in this flip or flop category, presbyopia drops. Obviously, we had 2 drops become available this year or last year, 2025. In the spring, you had Qlosi hit the market. In the fall, you had Vizz. Where are y'all at on presbyopia drops?
I can kick it off. I would say that it's definitely been successful. And I think now it's actually picking up more. I think Qlosi is going to benefit from Vizz simply because Vizz is throwing marketing out there like crazy right now. So everyone is starting to come in to ask more about presbyopia drops. I've prescribed both and patients like it. With Vizz, you get that redness in the beginning, but it lasts for quite a bit of time. Jen, I know you had a patient that you had shared online that used that Qlosi drop, and they seem extremely happy with theirs as well. And when I look online, I see a lot of success as well. So I say that it's done well. But I also think going back to what Dr. Schaefer stated, expectations. You want to make sure you set that right. And if you do that from the beginning, you'll have a happy patient. But for me, when I look at presbyopia drops, I just look at it as another tool in my tool belt to be able to cater to patients. But I'm always going to give them glasses, contacts, talk about that option to make sure they have everything at their fingertips to be successful with their eyes. But it has been successful.
I'm always taken aback by how many people that are Plano and like just need reading glasses that are like, nah, I'm not interested. Okay, but like I'm going to talk everybody who's a candidate. I will talk to you about. I've got samples in the fridge. Like I can let you try it. Nah, maybe next year. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And of the people that have tried it, I'd say it's about half of them will tell me I want a prescription. So, but like again, just the fact that I have something new to talk about, I love that. And like if it continues to take off, great. And like this is by far the most happy that anyone's been with the presbyopia drop. So like this is a huge upgrade for the category versus what we had a few years ago.
I just think our thought process on who we're prescribing this for has really shifted. Like in the beginning, it was like everyone, here, give it to everyone. And then we learned like that doesn't work actually. Like we really need to choose our patient appropriately. And from like the Orisys standpoint, the company that has Qlosi, I think they've been super responsible about how to distribute that drop. Like they restricted MPIs, so it's only eye care providers that can provide, like it can prescribe that, and that goes to BlinkRx. But I think that's like very smart because they're also seeing very few, adverse events, versus the others that are now you're seeing a lot more. And I think it's because it's maybe not even an eye care provider that's actually prescribing that drop.
Exactly.
Yeah. The thing I like about this is that it's bringing more awareness of presbyopia, and it's going to bring new patients into the practice. And even if those patients aren't the ideal candidates, at least you can have a conversation about glasses, a conversation about contacts. So anything that we can do to create more awareness about the importance of eye care or getting an eye exam or comprehensive eye exam, I'm all for. And I think both of these companies have done a fantastic job with branding and marketing to get these patients in the door. So I take my hat off to them. I think they did a great rollout, both teams. We've been able to partner with both of those companies. We have podcasts on both of those drops. So feel free to go through the archive and check them out.
All right, let's talk about.
I agree.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
I just want to, real quick, I think the biggest thing this gives us the luxury of choice now for these patients. And I think some of the biggest obstructions we've heard from optometrists is going to kill my optical. So I took my last 12 Qlosi patients and put them through the ringer and said, what did this person spend in my office? And what I found was out of the 12, 7 or 8 of them purchased glasses or contact lenses the same day they got a prescription for Qlosi. And then the 3 or 4 that did not, 3 of them had never bought glasses from us with over 6 years of coming in, which already is a problem, but they weren't going to buy something anyways. So like, we think that we're going to kill our optical with someone that's not buying anything anyways. And then 1 had bought glasses in 3 years. So the people that aren't buying this are people that aren't buying anything. So if we give them an opportunity to experience something different, that's an opportunity for them to maybe not feel as beholden to glasses and contact lenses, especially in someone who's never had to wear correction before. And again, it's all about expectations. But I think the luxury of choice is what makes this so important for us to be talking about with our patients. So I've really enjoyed having both options and seen really good results with people that want flexibility, wanted to play mahjong on the weekends, and some people that want it so they can be on a computer 8 to 10 hours a day. So kind of ranging the gamut, but we have a lot of great patients that are doing well with this drop.
You know what I love about Mark and Jackie is they get into the data. You noticed earlier, Jackie was talking about the percentage of people that actually use the Bruder's mask versus
y'all are running your own studies.
16% her own study. And Mark does the same thing. He just went through that same process, right? So, for everyone out there listening, do your homework, do your research, have your own samples, and you'll be surprised what you get from that information. Things that you think are not working as great or things that you think are working as great may be the complete opposite. So do your own research.
Good point. All right, let's talk about 2026.
Facts, not feelings.
We have entered the new year, and when we have Jackie on the show, we have to talk about what's coming, because literally no one knows as much about what's coming as the writer of 2020 Glance. And so let's talk about medications that are slated to have an FDA decision. I'm about to talk about a drop that I think we've talked about for 5 years. Reproxalap has a new PDUFA date in March. Will this be the year of Reproxalap, Jackie? What do you think?
I don't know. Time. I think, the PDUFA date was pushed. It was supposed to be December of 2025. It's now pushed to March. I think providing more data is better than getting another CRL. So I think there's some motivation to to provide more data to hopefully get some approval. I think it's anyone's guess is what I think at this point.
I might need a reminder of why this would be exciting if it worked. What is Reproxalap trying to do?
So Reproxalap is a RASP inhibitor. So the idea is that this is working higher up on this inflammatory cascade. So RASP is something that, like, if you're looking at your inflammatory cascade, it's working higher up versus your immunomodulators, which are working lower downstream. So that's the quick background on RASP.
We also I'm actually pretty excited about this one. There is a company called Azura with a twice weekly MGD ointment that is submitting a new drug application in 2026. They have a phase 3 clinical study that I believe is ongoing right now that hasn't been reported. But this is an ointment to open up the glands and improve meibum secretion. That sounds pretty exciting. So one to keep your watch on.
Mm-hmm.
A new presbyopia drop, potentially. We've got 10-Point Pharmaceuticals, Brimacol. It's got a PDUFA date for the end of this month, January 28th. So we're about to potentially have another new molecule in presbyopia drop category. So
they just keep coming. That's going to be 4.
crowded markets here in a second.
Totally. Yeah.
And then we also have a few gene therapies potentially entering FDA decision timelines. I mean, for the longest time, Luxturna was really our only gene therapy. And I know, my husband works in gene therapy, so I feel like gene therapy I hear about all the time. But the truth is, it's very difficult to get an approval in this category. And the fact that we may have 2 coming is pretty interesting. Can you share a little bit, Jackie, about what you know about the global rare disease Adibenon? I may be saying it incorrectly.
So
for reverse hereditary optic neuropathy.
I'm going to tell you, when you sent these notes over, I was like, I didn't even know about that. So I
got them for a glance.
I can share 0 here. I don't even remember. I was like, I have no idea. When I saw that, I was like, that's interesting. I have to look about that. I don't remember. I don't know, Jen. I don't know.
That's okay. I don't know much about it either, other than it is an oral treatment that's already approved in Europe. And there is a February 28th PDUFA date. So maybe we have something for Leber's coming in genetic rare disease therapy. And then we also have something called Nanoscope Therapeutics that has a treatment for RP slated for new drug application. And it would not require genetic testing. There's so many variants of RP. And when you think about trying to find which RP do they have, this is one that's non-specific, which is pretty crazy. It would be the first gene agnostic gene therapy if it's approved. So some exciting things coming forward in the retina spectrum potentially.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, you know what? I saw something earlier today, and Jackie, you gotta support me on this. I was on your page. I was like, let me just go make sure I'm not missing anything so I don't look like an idiot when they ask me questions. And you have something now on Glance where you have all the studies that are coming out that people can go and check, and it's kind of like, timeline or something like that. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that? Because I think that's pretty cool.
I do too. This is new. Like they just ended up launching this, but this is a clinical trials tracker.
Yeah.
So it is, I think it's so challenging to be like, what's coming? What's close to FDA approval? What's new in the AMD? What are people studying for AMD? It's really hard to find all that information. It's like it's everywhere. And so this clinical trials tracker is it's all in one place. You can search by disease, you can search by AMD or dry eye, and then you can see like how far along a particular company is with a certain product. So are they in phase 3? Did they already submit? Are they submitting an NDA? What's the PDUFA? And then you can dive more and read more into it, but it's a really high level view of like what's coming, how far away is it, what's going to matter in the next year. It's really great if you haven't seen it. And honestly, I should know the web address off the top of my head, but I don't know. Hang on.
You do have it linked on your Instagram account.
There you go. Yes, go there because I just did a video on it. Yeah, so it's really very helpful if you just want to get an overview of like what's happening. I know. Thank you, Jen. I'm like, there's only so much that can be stored. Okay. I can't do it.
And my one word of caution to everyone, beware of telling your friends and family about all these potential new drugs coming to market and telling them to buy stock. Because that's what I did a couple of years ago with Repoxlap, and like that didn't work out so good.
Oh my. Hey, one drug that we didn't touch on that I thought with all these brilliant minds on that we would have touched on? Xdemvy and meibomian glands.
Yeah.
How does that look in your practice? What have you guys been doing with that?
I love Xdemvy. Yeah. I think it's great. It works really well. I've had people coming back a year and a half later with still clear lids.
Yeah.
I tell them it's not going to last the rest of their life, I'm sure, but like to have this kind of lasting results is amazing. And that's another drop where they're doing clinical studies on some different formulations. So maybe like an ointment version that you could use instead of a drop. Like there's a lot coming with that product, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Or even longer dosing.
A lot of different applications too. But the meibomian gland findings were really cool to see that we can actually increase the number of glands secreting liquid.
Wow.
It's really cool. It's a fun thing to say, which is Miggles. Meibomian glands yielding liquid secretion.
All of us have young children. Lotilaner apparently is effective on lice too.
Oh,
It's
It's something that at one point I had to go down a rabbit hole learning about. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
So maybe another application for young
chloride
moms to care about.
Yeah, no, Xdemvy's been great. And I do feel like, I mean, the data that Mark's talking about, they presented that at Academy, not last year, but the year prior of that, the meibomian glands increase in yielding liquid secretion. It really makes sense, right? If you just kill off all of these, Demodex mites and reduce that level of inflammation, the glands will be a whole lot happier. And so I see one collarette. It's going. We're doing Xdemvy. Like I have a very low threshold to prescribe that. I love that.
Yeah.
Same. This itch right here. This is the horizontal itch that you see from patients.
I can send one in.
Probably have them.
You do like this. You do Xdemvy.
That is like, I can't tell you how many patients will sit in the exam chair. I'm like, so do you have any itch irritation? They're like, nope, not at all. I'm writing the script now as you're doing this. I'm sending it to the specialty pharmacy. I think we're seeing more and more like prior authorizations are getting worse. Like we're seeing all of this get harder and harder. For generic medications, we're seeing prior auth. So if I have to write a prior auth for anything, rather write it for a branded medication than a generic, whatever it is.
100%.
They need it now. Like no matter what it is, it still needs a PA.
Yeah.
Well, I think, man, we had a lot of wins this year is what my take home as we're kind of looking at. Basically everything that we talked about was a flip for joy. We didn't really have any flops to discuss this year, it was just a great year for eye care 2025. Hopefully 2026 will be more of the same. Mark, I'm going to circle back to your conversation earlier about the big story of the year being CE and the future of CE. Where are you guys going to be in 2026? Because you all are some of the most popular speakers on the lecture circle. So where can people hear you or see you in person?
So starting with Vision X, I'm not going to CECO this year, but I will be at Vision Expo. The Vision Expo in Orlando, I'll be at Optometrists meeting. I got spurned by a co-lecturer whose name rhymes with Jackie Garlich. I asked her if she wanted to lecture with me, and she said, no, thank you.
I thought you were about to say my name because I have written like 5 pages of a lecture for us.
Correct. I was getting there because that's the end of the year. So I will be lecturing at our 15-year class reunion in Memphis, Tennessee with none other than Jen Lyerly. So
no, we won't. I won't have a lecture written. So we're not. Mark might be lecturing.
It'll be fantastic.
And I'll be in the
It'll
audience
be
for that.
We just get up there and just literally do this for an hour and do this for 2 hours. We can talk about myopia.
maybe 2028 for this lecture.
2.5 hours right there.
Cool. Jackie, where are you speaking at? And you can have your own lectures. You don't need to partner.
Thank you. I don't actually remember saying no. I think I said that in sarcasm, but then you maybe didn't follow.
No. You said, I'm not going to AOA, so I'm not lecturing.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
but you know what?
You're going.
This is going to kill you because I actually might go to AOA. I actually was thinking I wouldn't be able to go to it, but I might be going. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I may or may not be there. I will be at Academy. I will be in your inbox every Monday. That's it, Yeah.
Darryl, you'll be at everything. Yes. Okay.
I'll be at everything for the most part. I'm speaking a couple times at CECO, Vision Expo. I'll be doing some recording. Got a few things lined up for AOA and Academy. I'll just be there. But super excited to get out. Hopefully I can get to one of your lectures and always support. I do swear Mark is at every conference, speaking at every conference, making the magic happen, So I love to see him always out there representing and impacting our profession.
I get to see my friends that I get to see 5 times a year. It's like the best. It is. It really is. Like we have an innovation summit that we're doing in April that I'm really excited about. I'm actually doing a summit at optometry schools outside of Boston and Worcester the end of this month, so February 1st. I'll be doing that, and then anytime I can get an opportunity to speak in front of people. I love eye care. It's my home. So,
what about yourself, Jen?
I will be in Myrtle Beach, not speaking, attending a North Carolina Spank Optometric Congress because my daughter loves going to that spring conference in Myrtle Beach. And it's at this little resort where they have this water park and stuff on site. And so she's begged me, and I said, yes, I will take you this year.
Oh, maybe I need to get my kid out there, Jen. I gotta
check
check
have
it out.
a 15-year reunion in Memphis, and so I'll go take CE there, and then let's just see where the wind blows me from there.
Nice.
Making the trek to Anaheim for Academy.
Not that I know of, but you know what? If the skies align, then I'm open to anything.
Hey, to be honest with you, Jen and I may not go anywhere for the next year because we're supposed to get like 20 inches of snow coming up shortly in North Carolina, which does not mix. So hopefully we'll see you at the future conferences, but if not, you know why.
Yeah, Darryl, we might be buried alive. We
real talk.
Maybe later, maybe attending. So think of all your friends in the South that can't handle snow and how scared we are right now with no bread and no power or water or milk because there's no bread or milk.
Gotta get the milk sandwich, right? Milk on bread.
There you go. There you go. But hey guys, this has been fantastic. Jen and I love having you on the show. It is truly a podcast party. We will continue to do this year in, year out. Super excited that we're in an amazing profession with so many new therapeutics, so much innovation, so much technology, and so many cool ODs. Do y'all realize how cool our profession is? Like when you look at the speakers, the future leaders, like we got some cool folks that's making this profession, pretty amazing. So we want to give a special thank you to everyone out there for choosing this profession. Especially thank you for watching this show. And until next time, peace. Hey family, if you enjoyed this full podcast, don't miss out on more engaging content. Check out the next episode right here. And for the latest updates, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Your support means the world to us. Catch us in the next episode. Peace.